Hey everybody, this is Dr. Mike Young, chiropractor, energy worker here in Nashville, Tennessee, coming to you with a Health Links video. Today's topic is hip tightness and sexuality, okay? And to get into this interrelationship between tight hips and sexuality, we're gonna go back to pre-puberty, okay? And as we watch kids develop in the first decade of life, one thing that's apparent is that they're quite flexible, including in the hips, okay? They can sit Indian style, they can sit full lotus, oftentimes no problem at all, and we adults are sort of left marveling and wishing that maybe we could also be that flexible and that open, okay? Now, I've had a lot of people come into my practice and say, yeah, I can sit Indian style real easily until I was a teenager, okay? And after that, my hips weren't very open. Okay, and that's a real pivotal time period for people in their lives is going from preteen to teen, that puberty stage, okay? So I'm gonna give you a couple of examples from puberty of how we can get locked down in the hips and with our sexuality. Let's take, for example, a boy who develops late, okay? And other boys are hitting puberty, and let's say, for example, they're in the locker room, and this boy is seeing the other kids and feeling really, really out of the loop. The other boys are starting to have pubic hair, their genitals are growing, all these other kind of changes associated with puberty are happening, and so this boy is likely to feel very ashamed and very embarrassed about what he doesn't have, about the changes that haven't happened yet, okay? And so he's likely to actually lock that embarrassment and shame into his body. The embarrassment and the shame, unless it's really well expressed, will actually express like this and lock in, okay? And so what that happens there, as you can see, if this makes sense, the hips can't turn out. They're not open anymore, okay? Now, and when I say express, if there's somebody in this boy's life who is able to meet him there, like an adult, like let's say, for example, his dad can really meet him and have a conversation with him about it and be there for him and let him know that he's okay no matter what pace his body develops at. Now, this boy is likely to digest that feeling of embarrassment and shame and then feel okay about himself, and his hips are not likely to lock down. Now, that isn't the experience for most of us in Western society, and so that's one of the ways that this kind of lockdown can happen. Let's take another example, and of course this can go in the opposite direction with genders, but let's take, for example, a girl who develops early. Okay, and so she's starting to get the changes associated with puberty, pubic hair, hormonal changes, the breasts are starting to enlarge. And so what will happen in the pelvis is that if she feels embarrassed and ashamed of the changes that are happening, and she doesn't have a way to express it, she doesn't have somebody really supportive that can help her through that, the same thing really happens, okay? She's gonna lock down like this, and her body is gonna go into this energy of shame and embarrassment and hiding of the genitals, and that locks the hips together, okay? They're literally trying to close this area down, okay? And so that happens oftentimes in puberty for boys or girls. Now, the question is, what can we do about it? Okay, there are other ways that our body can lock down in relationship to sexuality. It just oftentimes starts around puberty, okay? It can happen later on in life as well. Now, whenever it might have happened for you or anyone that you know, if your hips are tight, there's very likely some issue around the pelvis and the genitals. So, what can you do? One thing is to simply feel and notice. So that means get your attention into your hip joints, okay? And if you need to take a look at a visual aid or something like that shows you the hip joints, check them out. Maybe that'll help you feel your own hips. Oh yeah, that's how the hip articulates with the pelvis. You look into an anatomy book, look online, okay? Or just feel with your hands. Oh yeah, I feel that. Get your attention in there and breathe. Now, the new age cliche, you've got to feel it to heal it, definitely applies here. So we want to feel those hips and breathe. Now, that all by itself can actually start to open up the hips over a period of weeks, and once in a while, instantaneously. Okay, now the other thing we're going to do, since this has to do with sexuality and the genitals, get your attention into the genitals. Okay, feel the anatomy, feel whatever you feel in there, okay, and breathe. All right, so you just feel and you breathe. Whatever comes up for you, you meet it. So if discomfort or embarrassment comes up, you keep breathing and you allow yourself to feel it. That's part of processing what has gotten stuck, okay? If you feel sexual pleasure and you feel uncomfortable with it, you meet that discomfort, you meet that pleasure, and you breathe, okay? For a lot of people, they might think, oh, I hope nobody notices this is going on, especially if you're outside and this is happening, you're in a public place. You meet that feeling of anxiety, of worry, and you breathe. They're all related to the locking down and the tightness, okay? So if you do this for a matter of weeks, I can almost guarantee you're gonna start to notice some significant change, and you might notice it even faster, okay? Now, what else can you do? If you want to take this further, faster, and you're ready to connect with somebody on it, see a skilled body worker who gets that there is a connection between the way you live your life and the way your body feels. You can see me in the Nashville area here. If you're not in this area and you want to see somebody for this, and there's a bug in the room, and you want to see somebody for this issue, check out my website, drwithin.com. Okay, drwithin.com. You'll find my phone number. Give me a call personally. I will help you find somebody who can help you open this up. I know lots of people all around the country and a few around the world who are skilled at this kind of thing. You can also do a distance energy healing session with me in which I will help this to open over the phone and also give you an exercise that's personally tailored to you to help you open this up. Okay, so I hope this video has been helpful for you. I hope it helps you make a link between tightness in the hips and sexuality and give you some real strategies for opening it up and for opening your life at the same time. There's a lot to enjoy about your sexuality. There's a lot to enjoy about your body, okay? Hopefully this helps you in that way. If you have any comments, please, or any suggestions, please leave them in the comment section below so I can continue to improve these videos and improve my further offerings in the future. So, thank you very much for watching, and remember, the more you open your body to life, the more life will open itself to you, and the more rich and joyful you'll be living. Thanks again.